Hello, everyone. If you are here, I just wanted to say hello face to face before I share the drawing board and start showing you how to draw the the lotus flower. So if you are here, feel free to start putting in the chat where you are from. Just chat to each other, and I see the chat as well here, and I will answer as many questions as I can and I see in the chat. But if I couldn't answer any of your questions here, I'll do that later on, because your chat, especially on Facebook, I'm sure that whatever you put down in the comments will stay there, and I can answer them there, so you can come back and have a look and see the answers. So let me change the settings so I can see everything here. Okay, and then we'll start drawing. Right, so let's just change that to okay. Right, so please let me know what if you can see this properly, if it is okay for you, and then I'll just start drawing. Right, so let's start. So I am going to do this. Hello, David. Oh, you made it. I'm happy you made it. I know that it is early where you are. So thank you for coming in. Hello, Wendy. So Wendy is normal time, but David is from US. So apparently it's 9 o'clock in the morning in the US. I'll try to make it slightly later next time. We'll see. There's another session after this, like a personal session. I have a meeting. That's why I put it this early, to be honest. Hello, Leslie. Thank you. You can do it later if you found it useful later on, because it's gonna stay on Facebook for 30 days. Right, so let's start. For something like that, I'm using Pastelmat, and this is white Pastelmat. You get 14 colors in Pastelmat. I chose to do white because I'm not planning to do the background, and the colors go well on white Pastelmat. So let's just start doing this. The first thing I always do is to get rid of the line drawing. While we are live, please let me know if you prefer me to start a new drawing next time, because this is not gonna finish in 1 hour. Or would you like me to carry on working on this, which will be next month, last Friday in October. So please let me know. What is your views? What would you like me to do? I am quite happy to keep this and carry on working on it next time. A good thing about Pastelmat is that, hello Angie from Oxford, UK. Good thing about Pastelmat compared to any other paper is that you can transfer your line drawing via graphite or any other transfer sheets to Pastelmat, and then if you use a kneadable eraser like this to take the lines out, you'll take the excess out, but you will have enough to see the lines. You know, the remainder of the lines stay on enough for you. So it's usually good. But if the lines fall on any highlights, then sometimes that's a problem, because we can't cover that with white and make it like a highlight. Right, so the color that I have I'm going to use are a combination of pinks. So I'm going to start from this peak here, and for that I'm going to start with my lightest pink. Well, not lightest, it's actually this one. The lightest is the beige red, which is that, but beige red is quite dull. It's a dull pink, so I want a bright pink. I'm using light magenta. So it's like a lilac-y color if you are using any other brand. So I'm gonna just go ahead and start putting light pressure on from the top to bottom. It's good to follow the flowers curvature, and sometimes there are some fine lines on the petals that it's good to, from the start, just to follow those. It will help with the, you know, with the three-dimension appearance of the shape. If you do it all like that or horizontal, later on it will be difficult to make it look like a petal that is curved that way. I always find it easier to do it like that. So this particular petal that I'm doing is mostly the same color. It's got a bit of darkness there, but I'm just putting this color as the base color so we can work on it later and makes one part slightly darker and one part slightly lighter. It's mostly one color. There's not much of transition here. So while I'm doing this, I'll let Linda Marshall. Hello, Linda. But need to go out soon. Thank you. You are welcome. You can watch later, Linda, and do it later. Right. So I was saying that, you know, I just make a very light first layer of this color here, and then I'll go back on it and adjust it. So for adjusting that, I am going to use a darker reddish purple, or I can say pinkish purple. It can't say pinkish, but it's reddish. So purple can be bluish purple or reddish purple. Crimson, number 134 in Polychromos, is a reddish purple. So if you are using another brand, you need to find something that is like a darker than that, darker than lilac, but still reddish purple. So I'm gonna go on this line there, because that is where it's darker. On Pastelmat, there are a few ways to blend colors and make the grains go away if you want them to go away. Some people just like it like that. So if you like it, just leave it like that. But if you want to make it softer, then there are ways to help to get rid of the grains. I personally like to make it slightly softer, but not completely. I like to keep some of the texture of Pastelmat. I think that's marvelous. I think it looks good. But Pastelmat gives you the capacity to actually make it very light. Right, so at the moment you can see that this side is slightly darker than what we want. The middle part is the way that we want it, but the sides are not like that. So in the Polychromos we don't have a bright pink, bright enough pink that is not dull, like a bright one. So what I do, I will use a white, and this is Prismacolor white. I put Polychromos white in the list, but couldn't find a good one today. So it doesn't matter, it's a white. So I am just going with the white over the top of that. If your pink is light enough, you don't have to do this. But you know, in Polychromos you don't have a choice. Right, so the side of this is the lightest, so I put a few layers of this white. Also, I was saying that there are ways to help with the grains on Pastelmat. One of them is using a light color over a dark color, and one of the best colors are white, but it, as you can see, it changes the color a lot. So the other way is, for example, on here that is dark, I'm going to use my light magenta that I use as a light pink here. If I just go over this part that was with the crimson, I used the color crimson for that, and just go over that part, it will blend all the pigments and make the pigments softer and the grains less visible. So there are two ways. One is to go with something a lot lighter, like white, or if it's the color allows you with one of the light grays, like gray 2 or gray 1. But the other way is just to go in with a lighter version of the color that you are using. So I can see it is still a lot, it should be lighter. So I'm gonna go over again with white and blend at the same time. On Pastelmat you use a lot of layers. It can take up to 100 layers, and I have done 100 layers on Pastelmat when I used to do portraits, human portraits. On Pastelmat it could be I could use 100 layers. Okay, just to make a very soft blend. This one is crimson again, so I'm coming back. The way that I blend colors, adjacent colors, and make a transition is just to go from one color into the other one, overlap them, and back again. So that was the edge that I wanted to be darker. And then I'm going back with the light magenta. So I just build up the layers, and each layer you can see that the grains are disappearing and it is looking softer and softer. You might get annoyed with this, but this is Pastelmat for you. It gives you a lot of opportunities, it gives you a lot of advantages, but the only disadvantage is that you need a few layers to cover. This is white again, so I'm going over. I think I'm happy with the blend that I've created so far, so I probably won't go over this again. With this combination, I think I'm also happy with the color. One thing about fluorescent colors, the like very bright pinks or purples and those colors, which you can find in 150 set of Prismacolor. You can see them, and they are brilliant. They're absolutely gorgeous. But if you go and check the light fastness, these are the worst. And the reason is that they are synthetic. They are not natural pigments. So they are not very good at light fastness. Right, so I am just going to use my light magenta, just go really lightly on this white, just to make a difference between this middle part and this part that is supposed to be lighter. Okay, I know that this color is not exactly the same as this part that we're doing, but this is the best match with that I could find in Polychromos. And I am a bit obsessed with light fastness. I don't want to use colors that are not light fast because I don't want to get used to it in case I'm doing something for a client, something, a commission or something. Hello Shirley, hello Lucille. I was saying that I am very obsessed with with light fastness. I don't want to get used to using colors that are not light fast. Okay. So otherwise, if you're not bothered about light fastness and you know that your pieces are just for practicing, go ahead and use them, in Prismacolor. So this one is called Fuchsia, number 123, 123. And as you can see, in the in color, I don't know if it is obvious or not, but there's only 2 stars there, right? So for example, all these, if you have a look, all of them, these fluorescent colors, they are not the top range of color fastness even in Polychromos, but Polychromos at least has got them, some of them, some sort of light fastness. See, this one is salmon, which is a duller pink, is 3 stars, which is excellent. These 3 are sort of middle range. So I prefer Polychromos because it has got some bright colors which are decent. So I'm going to use fuchsia number 123, and I'm going to go and do this with it, this part. It is a reddish pink, but it's still very bright. The other thing with Pastelmat is that you don't have to sharpen your pencil unless you are doing very fine details with it. So for something like that, I don't really need to sharpen my pencil. And there goes the myth about the more textured your paper is, it will eat up your pencil. It absolutely doesn't. It's actually the other way around. The smoother your paper is, you will use more color pencil. You will waste more color pencil because you have to sharpen your pencil constantly. This one probably I don't have to sharpen at all. Some of others that, when you want to do details, then you go and sharpen it. So again, I know that this is not a very bright pink. So for that reason, I have brought in this color, Madder Lake. Madder Lake is a slightly pinker, brighter. So I wanted the value of fuchsia, but maybe a little bit influence of this color. So I'm going to go over fuchsia with this one. And it will actually do a softening act for me as well, which I was explaining up there. that, you know, you go with a lighter color over a darker color. If you compare that part with this part, you'll see that the top part is a lot softer now than this part. It wouldn't matter how many layers of fuchsia I would use here, it would not get rid of the grains for me, because it's just darker than the surface. There are ways to do it. You know, you can really sharpen your pencil and just go for those little paper specks and cover them. You can do that. But you know, if you don't want to sharpen your pencil, if you want to lighten your color a little bit, this is your advantage. You can use your lighter color to change your color to another shade, which I've just done. So if I want to show you, like here or here, so this is fuchsia. So if I go a few layers, see, even if I go so many layers, it's not gonna get rid of the pigments. The pigments are gonna stay. So on one side, I'm gonna use this slightly lighter color here and soften it. And then when I add the fuchsia on the top again, it will actually get a solid color. On the other side, if I sharpen my fuchsia, and just go over here and just deliberately go and fill all those gaps, that's another way. It takes a lot of time, but if you don't want to change your color, that's the way. So I know that you probably can't see, you probably can actually. I can see it on the screen. So there is a slight difference between these two colors. This is pinker, this is more reddish. So if you want to keep your color, just sharpen your pencil on Pastelmat, sharpen it like that, really sharp, and then go over and fill up all those little gaps. But this is just a small piece. Imagine if you wanted to do it on a very, you know, large part. David is using Bristol vellum, so just follow all the colors that I am using. It is I will go light to dark, so you can follow me as well, because on Pastelmat you can go the other way around, but I'll just do light to dark for your sake. So okay, the next thing, I hope that you understood that. If I wasn't clear, please let me know and I'll explain again. So the next thing is that I am just going between these two petals and make sure that, you know, they meet. Actually, this is enough for me. I don't want to do anything else on that. The color is okay. This is again the Madder Lake. The color is fine, and it is softened enough. Right, so let's move on to here. It is actually getting done quicker than I thought. Shirley says, I was a bit late in joining, missed the start, therefore will draw on replay. I don't have white Pastelmat, so we'll draw on a smooth paper. That's absolutely fine. Shirley, you can follow later. Make sure you do it before the 30 days, unless you're doing it on YouTube. I think it'll stay on YouTube, but on Facebook it will stay only for 30 days. So I'm gonna do this petal. So this petal, we have a few colors here. We have pink here, we have like greenish cream in the center mixed with the pink, and again pink on the other side. So the pink is similar to the top pink there. So we've got to make sure after we did the pink, we add a little bit of darkness on the top so the two petals stay separated. This is the way I do my own drawings. I think ahead about the process I'm gonna do. The only difference is that I am actually talking those thoughts in here, otherwise it's exactly the same. So let's use the magenta again to get that color. So it's light magenta. We don't need to sharpen that. I'm gonna start from here, and here you will see how I blend the colors. So I'm gonna start with pink here. Well, it is like lilac color here, and then smoothly and seamlessly mix that with a cream, like a greenish cream, for which I've put a cream and a green to mix together and make a creamish green. To mix with that seamlessly. You'll learn that in a minute. So up to this point, this is all pink, right? So I just blocked that out. I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. I'm looking at the reference and I can see that it's gonna come about here. And after that, it is a mixture. The center is more pink, more cream, but two sides of that I'm gonna have to blend them. I am thinking loud again, ahead. You've got to think about it, otherwise you'll get surprised with things that you didn't want. So if this is for David, if you want those cream specks, cream lines that are coming up here, do them now before putting the pink on. Maybe I should have said that before, but I am not going to do that. And also, if I want to do it later, I will be able to on Pastelmat, because on Pastelmat you can go light on dark. Look, you can go light on dark on Pastelmat. On a smooth paper you can't. So that is one of the advantages of Pastelmat, and it will make it worth every penny that you spend on it, because this is one of the best things about Pastelmat. You can correct your mistakes. You can do a lot of light on dark. So, but on a smooth paper, you've got to do it from light to dark. So here's my first layer, and I did it according to what I saw there. Okay. Right, so in the middle, I'm gonna start with color cream, which is number 102 in Polychromos. You can use any cream that you have. If you have a greenish cream, greenish yellow in your pencil set, use that already, because what I'm going to do, I'm gonna put the cream down and then I'm gonna go over that with green. And the reason I didn't put there is one color that is like a lemon green in Polychromos. I didn't put that down because if I want to choose all the colors, the list will go to about 30 for this flower, and I didn't want to do that for like 1 hour demonstration. And also it's very good to know that you can mix colors. You don't have to have all the colors. You can mix it. Although it's not a wet medium, you can still mix colors. So I'm coming down here and I'm looking at the bottom of this petal, which is completely like a creamy color, although there's a shadow on the top of that, and for that we're gonna darken it. I'll talk about it later, but it is the base color is definitely not pink. It is like a green, sorry, cream one. So these are the areas that I'm gonna keep mainly with those colors. Now I'm gonna make the transition coming from here to here, and also I'm gonna make some top hatches there. Okay, so I'm gonna make them meet each other and mingle in the middle. So from one side I have my my cream, and on a smooth paper like Bristol vellum you can do the same. It's actually, that is how we do it. I'm reducing my pressure as I'm coming towards the pink. I am holding my pencil at the end so it will stop me from putting too much pressure on. So I'm going like that, really gently, so the pigment which is there is less than the pigments which are here. Okay, and then I'm getting my my magenta back, the light magenta I mean, and going from the other side, again holding it as far as I can do towards the back, and then coming here, just sort of glazing. It's really light pressure. It's very light pressure, and mingling with this and coming towards the center, but really gently. So I'm doing it all the way down here. So you have to do this a few times until this looks mixed seamlessly. And this is exactly what you would do on somebody's face, not on that person's face, I mean on the portrait of a face, on like a portrait of a human face. I'm gonna do the same thing going up there. So you can use this sort of hatching. You can sort of start from here, let go at the top. So it will guarantee that your most pressure is here and the lightest there. Let go like that. Then coming back again with the cream on the top as well, like that. So this is the first layer, right? And it is already mixed nicely, but that this is far from finished. You know that, don't you? Okay, so I'm gonna go back on here. I might have to go with the white over this as well, the same as we did up there, because I you know, I don't want to put a dull pink on it. Otherwise, you know, you could do with the beige red. I'm going to show you here. So if I use this here, if I put two patches there, and then go with the beige red, which is this one. It's a dull pink, this one. So if I go over here in order to soften this, see, it makes it really dull. Makes it like a flesh pink. And even if I go over that with this, it has to be a few, it will make like a fleshy pink rather than a like a the pink that we want there, like a lilac-y pink. But if I go over it with white, and then go back a few layers with the magenta, it will soften it, but it does not take the brightness out. Hope you can see the difference. So that is what I mean. So I have softened the grains using white here, softened the grains using a dull pink. It does do the job of softening, but it doesn't help with the color. So that's what I'll probably do on here, the same as we did up there. So I'm gonna start from the here, adding the light magenta here. Even light magenta, in terms of light fastness, there are two pencils in Polychromos range that is, they get 1 star. One of them is this, gets 1 star. So it's not the best light fast pencil, but you know, these are the only ones in Polychromos. And in none of other pencil sets, even in the Derwent Light Fast that are 100%, the trick that they have used is that they haven't actually produced bright colors, because it's impossible to do bright fluorescent colors which are light fast, because these pigments are synthetic. Okay, so up to here it was just, you know, a solid pink, and then from here I'm gonna use my lightest pressure, go over in all directions over the creamy part, and eventually after a few layers they all start mixing together. I can see some pinks in the middle. I can just leave those for the time being. We can add them later. If you get a chance, please let me know if people prefer me to carry on doing this next month, or do you want are you happy to finish it on your own, and I'll start a new tutorial next month, because this is not gonna finish in 1 hour. Right, so now I'm gonna get the cream again, the cream, starting from the middle. So I'm dealing with this half of the petal first and then going the other side. It's like when you do exercise, you do left and then you go and do your right side. So I'm basically going between those the pink part, and just when I get to that part, I'm hardly touching the paper, just putting down some pigments so it joins seamlessly, rather than developing like a joint line again with the pink. And this time, after this time, I'll probably use the white to make it blend better. Just 1 layer would do. And after we finished all this petal, we're gonna have to add some green to it. If you're using a greenish cream, then you won't have to, but I have to. I have to use a green to top it, because this is too yellow. All right. So I'm gonna get my white again, the Prismacolor white. And by the way, Prismacolor white and Pablo white are the best when you want to use them to mix the other pigments. For some reason, they do the job really well. So I'm just going over this. We're gonna have to go over it again. And while I'm here, I can actually lighten this part because this part is actually lighter. I can lighten this part as well. So I am putting a few more layers of white on the lower part. Because if you look at the reference, this part is lighter. I'm talking about here. Okay. Magenta again, and this time it will look softer because there's a white layer underneath. We're gonna have to adjust this shape because if you look at the reference, these two are not a continuous line. This goes slightly in, so I'm gonna have to do that later. Again, thinking loud, sorry. So when we get to this stage, you can increase your pressure here that you need a solid layer. I'm not talking about too much pressure. I'm talking about going from low pressure to medium pressure. Still not high pressure. Okay, so I'm gonna get fuchsia and I'm gonna go there and just do this shape correction. Right. Okay. So if you didn't have that, you wouldn't have to do that. So again, with the cream, I'm going all the way around here to lighten it, and it will work even on vellum. It will lighten it a little. You might not be able to change the color, but you can lighten your color on vellum as well. And the other thing that I hope, David, you know, is that on vellum, you need to sharpen your pencil all the time. Okay. So I think this part is done, and you can see how smoothly they have joined each other. The purpose. No, this is cream. What do you mean? Not magenta. This is magenta. This is cream. I meant going up there. And that's light magenta, David. So, you know, the purpose of this, the purpose is, it is so seamless that you cannot tell where the pink finished and the cream started, or vice versa. That's how I explain it. So let's do the same thing on this side before putting the green on the everything. So again, I am holding my pencil like that and then going towards the cream on both sides. And overlap it, go over it a little. Okay. Then getting the color cream again and coming this way over, starting in the middle and reducing pressure as we come towards the side of this petal. light magenta again. I'm basically invading the cream color lightly with the tip of my pencil. So at this side, I'm not worried about a lot of pigment, pink pigment, but as I go towards the creamy part, or the lighter part, or the next color, whatever it is, whatever you're doing, then I automatically change my grab to the end of the pencil and then go in between the other color and gradually add that to the middle. Okay, cream again. So as you can see, the purpose is to add more cream in the middle and more pink on the side. Imagine if that was the side of the cheek on a portrait, human portrait, it would work exactly the same. We've done some, I think Leslie have seen them. We've done some in color pencil school, you know, some human portraits. And this is exactly the same method that we do for that purpose. Okay, so this time I'm gonna go for it and increase a little bit of pressure here, just to put enough pigment down. With Pastelmat, you shouldn't worry, you never worry about the tooth of the paper. So you know, just go gently and lightly, and you won't come to the problem of saturation. You won't saturate your paper. With the smooth paper, you've got to be careful, you know, and choose wisely how many layers you're gonna put down, because if you put too many layers, all of a sudden it becomes saturated and will not let you to do any more layers. On drafting film is even the worst. Okay, so now I'm gonna use my white to blend this end, because I want a solid pink here, and also to add the same as there, to add a little bit of white here. I'm actually using about medium pressure here because I want to put white down. Okay, and then magenta, light magenta again, and this time it is really smooth and nice and smooth. And then as I come to this side, I reduce my pressure. I think I need to go over with cream one more time. And I'm also following the reference here, and I can see that it is not symmetrical. So, you know, the creamy section is mostly there. So you basically have to follow your reference. So with the cream, one more time, going over, just to make sure that it is actually blended really well. We have 10 minutes. Right now, this is light green, okay? Light green. So if you have a color, color that is like lemonish yellow, yeah, really light lemonish yellow, then use that. But if you don't, like me, add that on the top of your cream, which is the lightest yellow in Polychromos set. And you know, I am holding it really at the back, and I am hardly touching this paper. It's just sort of stroking it really, really gently. It's like, you know, you are stroking some baby's face and you are utmost gentle. Because you can always come back over it if you think that it is not green enough. But imagine if you want to take your eraser out and correct your color at this stage. So just go gentle and add colors as you can, as you need to. So I'm going over the pink also, just to cover any yellow bits that are there. And in here I'm adding a little bit more because it is, this part is slightly darker. As I said, this is in shadow. We need to make this dull as well. In a shadow, three things happen. Colors go darker, colors go duller, and details disappear. Three things happen in a shadow. So you've got to do that so your shadow looks like a shadow. Yeah, Leslie, I'm sure you'll enjoy doing the portraits. I love the portraits we've done in the school. I'm gonna get my pink, and as the last touch here, I'm just gonna do this because that is what it is in there. And she said that was the last thing, but it's not, because it goes too dark. So I'm getting the cream color, going over it a little bit so it blends in and makes like a suggestion of a line rather than a strong line. Okay, never trust me when I say something finished. It's a lot of times it's not. So in the 7 minutes that we have, I'm gonna try to do these parts. So this little edge, this is fuchsia again. So I'm just gonna go ahead, and luckily my pencil is quite sharp, so I can just do it in a couple of layers. I'm gonna layer that again with the pink madder lake. Pink madder lake. Layer it so it becomes soft. There are some details in there that I do like to add, and I will tell you, I am a perfectionist in this respect. Okay, now that the color is done, I can get my magenta and try to, I'm going to sharpen my magenta this time, because I'm going to add I'm going to lighten. No, this is not working. So I was hoping that it works. So I'm going to get whiten this edge, and I am exaggerating the white because then I'm going to go over it with magenta and go really lightly. And this time, because it's got white underneath, it's going to look like light, and it will look sort of the edge of that petal and that part inside the petal. Let's make a point over that. Right, so let's just quickly do that before we go away. Just at least the first layer. You still haven't told me what is your preferences. A lot of people are not doing this live. So would you prefer a live in these live demos to complete? This is light magenta, by the way, to complete a tutorial, or do you want them to be different tutorials every time, even if we can't finish it? Okay, all of this is the same color. There are some dark parts that I will create with fuchsia, but so I'm going to mix that with white. This is Prismacolor white. I'm just gonna go mix it. Then one more layer of magenta. And then I'm getting my fuchsia, going over this line, and just do some hatches here just to make them darker, and going over this a little, coming down here. And then getting the darker one that we used there, which is the crimson, going over the bottom part here. Just a little bit on this side. And then I'm gonna go over everything with magenta again, so you know, to make them join together. So with light magenta, I'm going over everything. It's creating a very nice color, I have to say. Okay, so this is the last bit that I'm gonna do today. I am looking at your comments now, so I'm gonna go up and see if there was any questions. Hello, Jan from Washington. Hello, Sandra. The leaves, which leaves, Sandra? You mean these, or there are not, you mean them around in the background? If you mean the background leaves, which are very out of focus, if I wanted to do them, I don't want to do them. I'm not doing them. But if I was going to do them, I would use pastel or pan pastel, because it takes a lot of time doing it with color pencil. It is possible to do them, but that sort of thing is not suitable for these short sessions because it takes a lot of time with color pencil. If you were gonna do them on your own, choose a few shades of green, like a dark one. Okay, David. Right, thank you, Wendy. So I would choose a dark green like that, a dark green, a sort of a very, very light green or even light gray, and a middle tone, which is there. And I would go start putting my color pencils down. We're actually doing something similar in color pencil school right now, doing the background with color pencil. But the way to do it is using cotton buds. I'll show you over here, so at least you know what I mean. So if I went with color pencil over background, this is a cotton bud. I can blend with cotton bud like that. You would have to come out, you would have to do more layers, because as you can see, some of the pigment will disappear with your cotton bud. It takes them in, but it will make the out of focus effect. It will also reduce the time that you're using on this. So if you were to join that to a green, if I wanted to put green here, and then mix them again with cotton bud like that, it would make it fuzzy. I hope that it's helping, Sandra. But I'm not gonna do the background. That's just too much for a for 1 hour session, to be honest. Okay. Hello, Pauline. So if there isn't any other questions, I'll just stop sharing this. So you can see me. Hello again. So if you want later on to leave comments about next month, please do so. And just let me know what is your preferences, or other people who are watching this later, just let me know. Otherwise I'll just decide myself. Okay, Sandra, you're very welcome. And David says, do you just look at a picture and see all the colors, or just decide these colors will work? I have a system for choosing color. I just choose the colors as they are. Like, I say, okay, there are a lot of pinks and reds in here, so I go to my box and get all the pinks and reds out, and then I choose 2 or 3 color pencils around the shade that I want, and this is like my system. And then I go and sort of from a short list, I choose my final selection. Will you put in while on the petal for a streak? Will you put in while on the petal for a streak? I can't understand your question, Lucille. Can you? A white color. Yeah, I could do that. Yeah, if you're talking about the streaks, let me share this again. If you're talking about the streaks here, I think that is what you are talking about. You can sharpen your, not white, sharpen your cream and just go like that. And on Pastelmat, it works dark over light over dark, but I'm not very keen on doing that detail, to be honest. All right. Okay, you're welcome. different subject every month, Pauline says. Okay. You would like to see finish flower. Okay, I'll just see how the general feeling is and make a decision for next month, basically. Because these are going to be repeated every month, every month on a last Friday we're going to have a live session like this. So I will have to make a decision about the rest of the sessions, although it is not the law of the unbreakable law. We can always break our law all the time. So if after a while we decided we should do this or the other, this one or the other one, I'll change. Okay, I'll let you go, and you're welcome, Leslie. And I'll be announcing more and more each month. Please keep looking at the Facebook page. If you want, you can follow me, so you get all the the news all the time. Okay. Hopefully, Pauline, but the doors are now closed for a few months. So when people are when the doors are open, we'll invite everybody in. Okay. How about a live session for first and record the finish? I am afraid I don't have time for that, David. I've got a lot of commitments with Color Pencil School, so I can't really do more than 1 hour a month for these live sessions. Of course, David, we'll look forward to that. All right. So I'll let you go. Have a great weekend, everybody. And thank you for joining me. And see you next month, right? Keep posting your questions. I'm always happy to answer questions. Bye-bye.